Welcome to the third video in the series of short videos on Sigil EPUB 2.0 and how to create an ebook. So in this section what we're going to discuss is how to input your content, and that's going to include modifying headings and inserting images. So let's go ahead and get started. Now again, we have this blank document, and in order to input your information, what you're going to want to do is open up your Word document, and let's see here, section J. And the way I like to do it, makes it a little easier on me, is I'm going to go ahead and select all. That's Control A. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and I'm going to go back over to Sigil, and I'm going to paste. That's Control V. Now when I do that, it's going to ask me if I want to paste the clipboard data as plain text. That is what I want to do. It's going to make it a little easier as far as not having to edit much of the HTML later. So let's go ahead and do that. And you're going to see immediately that there's a couple of things that are off. First of all, the spacing is wrong. And you also lost your headings, and some of your formulas don't show up the same anymore. So whereas in the formulas previously, when it was a Word document, you might have some powers here. So you can see here this current squared. In the actual ebook, you're gonna lose that. So what we're gonna do is, let's first deal with the spacing issue. That's fairly easy. All you're going to do is go ahead and delete some of that spacing. And the nice thing again is here on the right side you see the preview screen where you can tell what this ebook will look like when published as EPUB and viewed on your portable device. So let's modify this some. Again, this is just a short tutorial, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But let's talk about headings. You can tell that in the Word document that we were working on, electrical power was actually one of the top headings that we had. That's what this section is over. So what I'm going to do is, since this section is actually discussing electrical power, I'm going to go back over to Sigil. And that's a fairly important heading. In the future, when I create my table of contents, I'm going to want that to show up as one of my major headings. So what I do is I put that as H1 or heading 1. And you can tell that immediately it makes that large. And you saw back here that when it was defining power, that was also, this section here is kind of discussing power, and then we go into finding electrical power in a circuit. So since this is another section, let's go ahead and go to Sigil. This isn't a heading, it was just a definition, so I can just go ahead and bold that here. But what was this section was finding electrical power in a circuit. Now that wasn't a major heading, that was more secondary heading, so I can just go ahead and make that an H2. And you're going to go ahead and do that for the rest of your document, just modifying those headings. Now another thing that we're going to want to do is insert images into here, because you can tell that in this section we had a couple of images, and remember in the previous video we saved those images to a folder in order to bring them into here later. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to open up Sigil. In order to add an image, what I have to do is first, here it says insert file, and there's actually two steps to adding an image. You're going to have to insert all of your files into Sigil first, and then you're going to take them from Sigil and insert them into the document. So I know it's kind of complicated, but we're going to go and do that real quick. See right here, you can tell that I don't have any files inside Sigil. So I need to import those in. So let's import files. And that's this one here. So add existing files. Now you can tell it opens up my folder. And what I prefer to do is, instead of searching and adding files one at a time, I like to select all of my files here. So I'm just going to select the top one that I know is it. I'm going to scroll down and holding shift, select that last one. You can tell it selected all of them, and I'm going to go ahead and open. There it goes, added all my existing files. Now when I open the insert file, you can actually see that all of my files are now imported into Sigil, and I can go ahead and place them where they belong. So we were in section J, and let's put our cursor where it needs to be. So this was right after the power equation. So written two more ways. Let's go to Sigil, and let's find that area. It's right here. So after this is where I need to insert my image, right before it says finding electrical power in a circuit. So I'm going to click there. I have my cursor in the right spot. I can go to section J, exhibit A, and that's the correct image. I click OK, and it inserts that image. Great. Now if we go back over to here, and let's look where that exhibit B belongs, and it's right after where it says exhibit B. So here's exhibit B. I tab down, have my cursor in the right place, insert file, go to exhibit B, and insert that one. There you go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all my images for this file. So in the next video, what we're going to discuss is finishing up our EPUB and creating a functional EPUB, which is going to include hyperlinking, creating table of contents, and exporting your EPUB.